Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4 of Ask IOG, the show fueled exclusively by your community questions. It's been so long, I think it's literally been months since we've done one of these episodes. We've got a lot of catching up to do, and we're starting this evening with a plethora of some tasty questions from the community. The OGs, we like to call them. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm here with Jacob Alka.
Hi.
And Preston Pugh online.
How's it going?
Hey man, I missed you so much. I forgot to mention in last week's episode, we didn't even mention Preston's absence. I mean, obviously he was gone.
Oh, wow.
You were a working man last Sunday, right?
Oh, you didn't watch?
Yeah, I was working last Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We shot Sunday. I mean, I know this is a random question, but are you guys able to film on Sunday this week? Because I'm unavailable this Saturday.
I should be able to.
Okay.
Depends what time.
I guess we'll see. We'll figure it out. I know that's entirely random, but that's what's happening on Sunday. How's your guys' week been?
Busy.
Who wants to go first?
How are you, Preston? I haven't heard from you in quite a while. I mean, you mentioned you've been super busy. You have to get up at 3 a.m. You actually have to dip out of this episode early.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately, in about an hour. But yeah, super busy. Have a deadline to beat for the current job that I'm on. Have till next Friday. So we are... kind of, instead of waiting till last minute to put in the heavy hours, we're just kind of, you know, doing it a little bit in advance. So when it comes to super crunch time, we're not stressing and stuff. So, but yeah, I have no time to do anything. I haven't even been in my gaming room this entire week. So it's nice to just...
Are you technically in the gaming room right now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
I am there. So I haven't stepped foot in this place all week. I've just gone to work, come home, hop in bed, rinse, repeat over and over again.
You got cobwebs everywhere.
Yeah.
Little critters have made their home in that room.
Yeah, yeah. There actually could be, because my house is constantly just infested with horrible spiders, and it scares me.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like the spiders at Zach's parents' house, absolutely infested. Dude, his dad said you can literally shine a flashlight in the yard at night and see like hundreds of spider eyes just glowing in the flashlight.
Holy crap.
In their backyard.
Yeah, we have I could go outside right now and find like 2 or 3 wolf spiders easy, and I don't like it.
I don't like those at all.
Yeah, those things are freaking huge, and I hate stepping on them because you just feel every crunch. Like, oh gosh, I know, it's so bad. So I bought this spider spray, so I just like literally
spider spray,
just nuke them and stuff. Yeah, they it's way easier than stepping on them. I don't know.
Yeah, the most infested spider zone I've ever been in was in St. Augustine, Florida, on a nature trail that seemingly had been abandoned for years, but was still open for some reason. I mean, they told us when we went to this nature trail, you kind of have to walk up to this gate and they let you in. They told us, you know, not many people go on this trail anymore, so you might run into some bugs and some spiders and stuff. Well, of course, my grandmother's not thinking anything of it. I think I was in early high school at this point. We went on this nature trail, I kid you not, literally probably thousands, hundreds of wolf spiders. Everywhere you look, there's like a bundle of them. Some of them in balls, just spiders everywhere. And there's a picture of me literally running through this nature trail. It's like a blurry figure. You think it's a ghost. I'm sprinting so fast because I thought one touched me, and I ran all the way through it. But I've never seen so many spiders in one place in my life. Of course, I've seen them in videos, but in person, man, it was the most horrific thing I had ever seen. I'm here to tell the tale. Obviously, I survived, but it's terrifying. You like spiders, Jacob?
No.
Not at all?
No one likes spiders.
I'm sure there's someone out there that enjoys spiders. You know, people that have like tarantulas for pets.
No one likes spiders.
Except for people that have tarantulas for pets.
That's not a real thing.
Apparently it's not. Maybe it's just fantasy. I mean, you can
Have
really
you actually
never tell.
seen someone with a pet tarantula, Garrett?
I've known someone with a pet tarantula.
Okay, stop lying.
I'm serious. It was my aunt and uncle.
No wonder you're a freak.
They have a whole family full of animals. They have a tortoise, like 5 cats, a few dogs, a rabbit. They have every animal from the farm, including tortoises. So
those are all farm animals.
There was a tortoise at a house when I was co-leading a small group at my church where they had a tortoise that was, I think they'd had it for a few generations. It was like 30 years old. It was massive. It lived in this barn, and it was apparently on the news once because it escaped their house and was in the middle of a road somewhere. And it's this big news story about their ancient turtle. You know, tortoises live to be like over 100 years old. So it could go through multiple generations of their family. It could be the family heirloom, this tortoise. So it's my fun tortoise story for the evening.
I feel like 100 years could last like 2 families.
That's true.
Yeah.
And unless they all die early, unless we hit the nuclear apocalypse and the tortoise just goes into its shell and survives and pops out and just eats whatever's left of the eucalyptus leaves that survived the atomic blast.
You remember we had a tortoise?
Are nuclear resistant.
We had a tortoise? Oh, yeah. Your sister had one. His name was Speedy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it ended up turning into our tortoise because she just stopped taking care of it. But we didn't like taking care of it. It smelled really bad, and it like had a heat lamp, so the room just smelled like hot doo-doo and was hot in there. So we got rid of it after like 3 years. So,
man, we had 2 little, like, they could fit in the palm of your hand turtles when my sister and I were in middle school living in Orlando, Florida. I remember she brought them back on this little plastic bin from the mall, and I thought they were toy turtles, like action figures. And then they started moving. I started freaking out. I was like, wow, we have turtles, little baby turtles. I think mine's name was Pete, and hers was something else. She may have ripped off Speedy's name and called him like Quickie or something. I don't know.
Quickie? But that doesn't sound... PG,
no, it does
Garrett.
not. It does not. But it was some ripoff of Speedy's name, I think, because I think Kimberlyn already had Speedy or something. But we had them in this little bowl in our bathroom. We'd take care of them every day. And for a few weeks, it was cool. But apparently, according to the vet, because they had all these weird issues and they weren't moving anymore, we took them to this like turtle vet, like PetSmart or something. And they said they had begun to go blind and partially deaf. I don't know how you can tell if a turtle is deaf. But then we gave them to PetSmart, and they said they would take care of them. I don't know. They might have flushed them down the toilet for all I know. But like, we'll take it from here. And that was the only slightly exotic pet I've ever had in my life, unless you count that crazy wiener dog downstairs that bites Jacob every time he walks in the house. Speaking of which, Preston, Jax has gotten so bad that they're going to try to put him through lessons. He may be too far gone at this point, but they're putting him through lessons. He is 2.
I don't know.
It's going to be a challenge. He may be stuck in his ways, unfortunately, but he has serious issues. But
why does he bite Jacob? Does he bite anybody else?
I think it's because Jacob doesn't always pet him, and he's used to people greeting. Whenever he barks, if people pet him, he kind of chills out, but Jacob just kind of looks at him.
I don't like to pet him.
And I don't
think he deserves it.
And he kind of freaks out.
I love to pet that squishy man.
And so, like, I want to pet him, but I don't at the same time.
Because he's so vicious. Yeah. He is a wild man, but
I only pet dogs that are nice to me.
He's basically a pillow, though.
I think he's figured out that Jacob is some German secret agent, and he's trying to tell us all.
Hail Hydra.
You better be careful. I'll roast him and eat him with some sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut and some sausage.
He is the sausage.
Yeah, you're right.
With fur.
Well, it's going to be a rather horrific meal.
Probably tastes pretty good.
I've never had wiener dogs, so you'll have to let me know how that goes.
I'll let you know.
Appreciate it. Well, Jacob, what'd you do this week? I haven't really talked to you much either, except for was it Monday when we tried to shoot that Destiny video and it was totally disastrous?
Yes.
Yeah, that really broke my heart. If anyone wants to know what breaks my heart in this world, it is when technology malfunctions. It's when I put my heart and soul into something and I do my very best, but something malfunctions with technology and just ruins everything. Things that are out of my control that affect me personally really depress me. Jacob and I, it was a simple video, not really necessary, but Jacob recorded gameplay of the farm social space we're getting in Destiny 2. And he recorded it and brought it over, and we were just going to record voiceover while watching it, playing it back. Well, did all the whole voiceover, had a fun little conversation. We're like, all right, cool, that'll be a quick little easy video to put out tomorrow. And then while editing, the audio had lost just chunks, like full sentences, and it just spliced the audio into this miscombobulated mess. And I think it's because I've never had this problem before, but watching a QuickTime video and recording through Audacity doesn't like that, which doesn't make sense to me because it sounds like such a simple thing to do. But it amazes me that we can record gameplay, audio, and video, and Audacity's fine, and record for like hours at a time, and that's fine. But then as soon as you pull up a QuickTime video, it's like not having it. And that really upset me Monday night, and I actually almost cried myself to sleep.
It wasn't that important of a video.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't actually that dramatic, but I was definitely frustrated. You guys know how I get when technology malfunctions and drives me insane.
Oh, I know.
I question all the time if I've even chosen the right career path because it's completely focused on technology, and it disappoints me every day. So that's life, though. But other than that, Jacob, how's your week been?
It's been fine, I guess. Been working. Been down in the dumps. Don't know why.
Is it due to a few reasons? Because I could guess what one of them would be.
There's several reasons.
I imagine we'll talk about that later.
Any of them.
Because there's kind of a topic that relates to that subject.
Oh, yeah?
So, have you read the questions yet?
A few of them.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
All right.
Anything else going on?
Not really. Just had a very average week. I'm excited to have some time to play some games this weekend. That'll be nice.
Yes, indeed. I have done nothing exciting either. I've been to school. Did anything exciting happen at school? I don't think so. I'm blanking big time right now. Everything's been bleeding together because I've been so busy. It's funny because we're all individually so busy, but doing completely different things, which is amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fascinated that we're able to sit down tonight and do this episode. I honestly thought we might have to skip it again because, you know, Preston barely has time, and we both got home late, so I'm glad we're all here together. Preston, you still alive over there?
Yeah, I'm fine, dude. I'm ready to answer some questions.
Yeah, as am I. We'll quit beating around the bush, boys.
Let's jump in.
Again, thank you to all of you who've been sending us questions, even when we've been delaying on this show. But catch up begins now. Hopefully, we'll be doing this weekly from here on out, Lord willing. The first one comes from Ren on Discord. He says, "Here's one for the ladies. If you guys had a wet t-shirt contest, who would win?" And he says, "I'm 100% certain I know who I'd pick."
Who are the ladies? Is he calling us ladies?
No. He says, here's one for the ladies, asking who out of the three of us would win a wet t-shirt contest.
Well, then who are the ladies answering?
Who are the ladies answering?
Yeah. If this one's for the ladies. Then...
Whatever ladies are tuning into this episode, I guess they can vote. But obviously, Jacob, it makes the most sense. I think you would definitely win. Preston would definitely come in second because you guys work out regularly. I haven't worked out consistently in probably a year. I mean, I work out once a week, maybe, if I have time. But you guys would definitely be first and second, and I'd be third.
I would vote for myself, no matter what.
I'd vote for you too, Jacob.
It doesn't matter who I'm up against.
I don't think I've ever seen you in a wet t-shirt, but I mean, I've seen you shirtless countless times.
Yeah. I mean, if I wear a white t-shirt, you can
I've seen you in a skin-tight Spider-Man suit that you're bursting out of. That was a sight to behold.
A kid's costume?
What about a wet Spider-Man costume contest?
I probably couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, you'd probably be stuck for life.
I was sweaty in that one time I put on the suit. So
yeah.
Imagine
Garrett,
if I was just soaked.
I know this is kind of in relation to that. Remember when I was working out with that Titan suit on and you had to help me like rip it off after we worked out that one time?
Oh yeah.
What is a Titan suit?
I'll let you explain it.
It's I think it's 8 pounds. It's like a compression shirt that has 8 pounds worth of weight in it. And I learned after this event that you have to wear an undershirt or else it will literally stick to your skin. Like, it is impossible to get off. And I had Garrett like ripping it off of me. It was like pulling my skin off with it. It was
pretty erotic, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. But
I totally forgot about that. You look like a superhero in it. Yeah,
it does. It makes you look jacked.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Imagine how Jacob would look in that thing.
I don't even think it would look abnormal.
You'd almost look like the Hulk at that point.
Yeah. But I actually completely forgot about that thing. The thing was really expensive. I probably need to use it. So
is it laying around somewhere?
You didn't ruin it taking it off?
No, I didn't ruin it. No, it's just like so tight and I was sweating. I think just like the friction between the shirt and my sweat just made it literally stick to me like glue. But after I wore like a undershirt since that point on, it was pretty easy to take off. But yeah, I need to find that thing.
I'm sure it's somewhere in that spider-infested house of yours.
Somewhere.
Ren also says, define your dream gaming setup. You want to start, Jacob? You're actually tweaking your gaming setup next week.
Yeah, I got a monitor. That's all I got so far.
Waiting on the PC to arrive.
Yeah, there should be a couple parts coming tomorrow, and then the rest early next week. But, I mean, without getting too technical, I guess, just a nice air-conditioned space.
I would
unlike
love
your
that.
room.
Yeah, I don't have an air-conditioned space. That's the first thing I'd ask for.
With plenty of room. I would like maybe several desks, as if it's like 3/4 of a square, like one table here, two here, then a place where I can walk into it. But I have several monitors around, maybe like 6 monitors. Then I would have a couple computers.
Why 6 monitors?
Just, I don't know. Why not?
Have YouTube on one and movie on
like
another,
maybe
Netflix?
Cable TV up here, Twitch down here, YouTube video playing up here, and just the other monitors for gaming. I would have each one hooked up, like one for PlayStation, one for Xbox, one for my PC. Maybe I'd have 2 screens for a PC. I don't know.
Preston, theoretically, could you just get a switcher and just switch at will between all your systems on one monitor?
I mean, yeah, technically.
At the very least, I would have 2 monitors.
Is it just about an aesthetic thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just saw someone one time that had 6 monitors, and they were streaming, and I thought it would look cool. It's probably absolutely ridiculous.
Look like Iron Man's workshop or something.
Yeah. But I would have... The most important thing is a cool room.
Yeah.
For sure. And I would have some collectibles, like, you know, on the wall behind me or something like that.
Absolutely. What kind of collectibles are we talking about?
Just video game based. If this was a gaming setup, it would probably be gaming.
It's kind of like Preston's cool setup.
Yeah. It wouldn't be Fallout, but...
Okay.
Nothing against Fallout, but it's
Let
not
me
my
guess.
jam.
Yours would be obviously some Overwatch in there.
Yeah. I still haven't bought those new Overwatch pop figures. I need to get on that.
Yeah, better get to that, Jacob. You're going to be a potentially almost full-time PC streamer starting very soon.
I think so.
That's the goal.
I mean,
Because you told me you want to stream as often as possible. That excites the crap out of me. I would love for you to stream as often as possible.
I'd like to, yeah.
You have the world at your fingertips with that PC, Jacob.
I could play anything.
You're the first one to break the ice of this console village we've created.
You guys will soon join me.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite jealous, believe it or not. So you've mentioned the 6 monitors, which I think is a little excessive, but to each his own, I guess.
Let's make it 12.
Okay, so 12 monitors, your Overwatch collection. What kind of chair are you going to sit in?
I don't know. I'd buy some kind of nice chair.
What about this chair Preston's sitting in? I've cropped him a good bit. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but
yeah,
he's got a really good chair. A lot of back and neck support there.
Yeah,
Preston, can you confirm?
Like that.
I can confirm. That is fact.
Great.
Would you rate it 8 out of 8?
Yeah. You could say that.
Mate.
Excellent. Okay, so how about describe the room now aesthetically? What's around you? What is the lighting like? Because I'm going to go into very deep detail with my own room.
Is that important here?
It is for me. He says your dream gaming setup, Jacob.
Well,
if you're satisfied with all you mentioned, we're welcome to move on.
I mean, that's...
Okay, you want to take over here? Take over from here, Preston?
I'm a simple man. I just would like a decently sized TV, a nice sound system, like a 7.1, or if I got real fancy, like an Atmos system or something. And that's it, I guess.
I mean, you got a pretty sweet setup already. You satisfied with what you have?
Yeah. I'd like a bigger, if I had to do something, I'd get a bigger room and a bigger TV. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I want anything,
Oh, I forgot one key component of my gaming room.
Let's hear it.
The drop-down disco ball from the ceiling.
Oh, really?
That hovers right above my head.
Oh, that's
and
groovy.
We have dance parties.
So are you gonna have that hanging there while you're playing, or is it in between game sessions?
The ceiling opens up and the ball falls down.
No way.
Yes. And then when I want it to go back up, it's like, whoop.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I would love to have
tricks up your sleeve like that. What were you gonna say, Preston?
Oh, I was saying I was thinking he said something about collectibles, and I would love to have like life-sized figures or something, like of Garrett or of like a Brotherhood of Steel soldier or something, like lining a wall. That'd be pretty cool.
I would have a full-time cosplayer be in my gaming room, and he would have to dress up as Geralt a male
cosplayer.
Night. Yes,
I could probably do that if I dyed my hair white and grew my beard out a little.
You
thicker.
Probably could.
Put
you just had to get a little beefier.
Contacts in my eyes.
Yeah, get some scars on your face.
Definitely, I'll just take a knife to my face real quick.
I'd get a female cosplayer who would.
Who's she gonna cosplay as? She's gonna switch out or stick to one character?
No, I'd have her switch out different characters probably every day.
Different themes every night.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm sure Lizzie would be thrilled with that.
Just on a platform next to your TV dancing the whole time?
Yeah.
It's for the entertainment, honey.
Yeah.
That's great. I really like those ideas. So mine is a little more spliced between gaming and production, because I've been talking to you guys for a while now. I want to transform this room we're in, which is funny because I may end up moving at some point to be totally pointless, but I want to transform this room into like a production suite where literally everything we would ever need to make videos and play video games is all at our fingertips. For example, this wall that you guys are seeing here, if you're watching the video at all, where you see our It's Obvious Gaming banner and this big poster wall, I want to strip all that down and paint that whole section the proper key green, so that can be our green screen wall, and across the way would be where the podcast table is, and then that wall where no one can see would be the editing suite We'd have the big desk and everything we need there to where literally everything's basically already connected where we can just jump from spot to spot and just get things done. Because I'm sick of having to constantly change this room out for Let's Plays and podcasts just back and forth. It's just so tedious and it takes forever. It's rather exhausting as well doing it for how long now? 2.5 years? So I'm ready to get past that point. But of course I'd have the room acoustically treated because that's been a nightmare for the most part. I'm amazed that as high as the ceiling is in here, our audio isn't that reflective, which I don't know how that's possible. But if this room was acoustically treated, it'd sound even better. And a dream of mine is to have an actual decent board to mix on, because our board, our little Behringer, is just, we've had 2 of them now, and both of them have progressively gotten worse and worse over time. They just kind of break down over time, and they just sound awful. I mean, there's these little, tiny little things in our audio that are there that I can hear that drive me so crazy, but if I pointed them out to people, you would never unhear them, and it would drive you crazy too. So I'm gonna just say that there are some things that occur in our audio that you may or may not pick up on, but if I pointed them out to you, you would never unhear it. So that's a problem. So I'd like a new board. But lastly, as far as gaming is concerned, when I game, I told you I have to have some serious mood lighting. For example, you see that oil distributor or diffuser behind you, Jacob, there? It's changing colors, and it's a little orb, and it emits the oils. Well, currently we have a eucalyptus leaf or something in there. It helps with your sinuses. It's kind of like a minty smell. And the only reason I have it is because my mom had an extra one. She's like, "Do you want this thing?" I'm like, "Well, it lights up and it looks cool, so sure." So that thing, of course, some warm Christmas lights are always nice.
Is it like a humidifier?
It is, yeah, okay. Basically.
It's an oil diffuser.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
the oil from your
I'm pretty sure your mom got it from my mom.
Yeah, probably. Because I was wondering, they just showed up in my house one day. I was like, I don't know where these came from.
My mom's big into the essential oil stuff.
Nice. Yeah, some mood lighting would be good. And I'm not really, I mean, a decent sized TV for me as well. Middle of the road. I don't need something massive. I would never complain about anything massive, but I can work with what I got. I don't even know what size that TV is, but it gets the job done. It's a
42 inch, I think.
Yeah, we have the same one currently, don't we?
Yeah, we have the exact same one.
Okay.
Dude, I almost bought a 65-inch 4K TV the other day.
Yikes. Man, that sounds expensive. Was it like on sale or something? It was
on sale for like $900. And
that's a steal.
What? I know. It was on sale for $900, and you got a $350 Dell gift card. And Lizzie's been needing a new laptop. Hers is kind of pooping out on her. So I was going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But I made it
insane for that big of a TV.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't look at like the ratings for it, like the gameplay latency or anything. I don't know if it was HDR.
Could be a shitty brand.
Yeah, it was Vizio. I mean, those are fine TVs. I would end up putting it in my living room because I don't think I physically could put a 65-inch TV in the room I'm in currently. Like, I don't think it's big enough. Like the 42-inch in this room is perfectly fine until I upgrade into a bigger room that's as big as it needs to get. So
nice. I think for my dream gaming setup, by the way, to have a waiter or waitress that comes to and from my room, the orders I make for beverages and snacks and such. Yeah, I would like a nice bowl of pretzels, please, and a sparkling water. Sparkling water is gross.
Sparkling water.
How about a Sprite? I was trying to sound fancy, but I'm not fancy at all.
You know, I usually knock on Sprite, but I've been wanting a Sprite lately.
Dude, Sprite's
like every once in a while, it's a good drink.
Preston, I wouldn't drink it like lettuce.
It did, yeah. My uncle told me it tasted like lettuce to him, and now I can't unthink that now. So it just tastes like it to me now.
Maybe he had like a slightly flat Sprite, because if you have a crisp lemon lime Sprite, it tastes like the tropics, and it's amazing. That's why it's my favorite soft drink.
I mean, I like Sprite. I have to be in the mood for it, though. I don't just get it all the time.
It is my favorite, Jacob, I know.
I'm trying to comprehend how Sprite is your favorite soda.
Do you like any flavored Sprite, Garrett?
I do a little bit. I like LeBron's Sprite. I think it's like the cherry Sprite. It's pretty good.
Like LeBron's?
It's called it's like mix. LeBron's flavor.
Is that an actual like Sprite?
Yes, it is. It's like called
cherry.
LeBron.
I thought it was just
like cherry lemon, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
I thought he was just a spokesperson.
There's been a few Sprite flavors in the past. I can't really think of anything specific.
So you haven't really said anything about what you would want in your setup. You just said a waiter and
a waiter.
You talked about
I'd want this whole room to be turned into like a big production suite overall, and just some nice mood lighting, some candles, and my oil diffuser over there is kind of cool. Would you be
playing games in there?
Oh, of course,
yeah.
Well, let's see if I have time to play games. You know, it's funny because I yearn for the day that I may or may not ever have time to actually play a video game again. It's been some time since I mean, when we do streams, I'm technically playing for fun. But even when you stream, you got to know this. I imagine this is the case for a lot of people. You're not really relaxing and playing. You kind of have to, I mean, not that I'm against this at all, because I love playing with everyone and just playing a game and connecting and have fun and talking to the chat. But it's not the same as just being by yourself and just relaxing and not talking at all and just experiencing a game. I can't even remember the last time I did that. I think it was briefly with Life is Strange for about an hour. I was like, this is bliss. And that was a month and a half ago at this point. I think it was before E3. So I yearn for that day. Perhaps one day I'll attain it again. But regardless, I'm still loving all of this. But maybe I'd have this device in my dream gaming setup where I could freeze time. Like literally freeze the entire Earth and play games for as long as I want and then unfreeze when I have to do stuff again. That'd be my final piece to my dream gaming setup.
Gotcha.
Any more from you guys before we move on?
Nope.
I don't think so.
AKA Toon says, what do you guys do for work/study and how did you choose/fall into this career? You want to start off, Preston?
Is it what do I do and how did I get doing it?
Yeah, like how did you end up doing what you're doing for, I assume, your career at this point?
I install audiovisual equipment in churches and office buildings. That's pretty much the very general gist of what it is. I got into it through a family friend.
Kicking shit.
Sorry, Jacob.
What is going on?
Sorry, I kicked the table and practically started an earthquake.
Hey man, watch it. I was getting ready to go to school again. I went to the same community college you went to, Garrett, for like a year, and took a little bit of time off. Was going to go back to school again, so I substitute taught for a little bit, and
Best time of your life for sure.
Oh yeah, dude, I was such a good sub. I was so freaking good. That made, which my father is in education. He's a principal, so I thought, oh, maybe it's in my blood to be an educator, and it absolutely is not. It was a horrible job, and I was not very good at it. So I did that for like 2 months, and while I was doing it, I was also a waiter at a Cheddar's restaurant, and as I was doing that, a family friend of ours who owns a home theater company told me that he was moving to another country and he needed somebody to learn the ins and outs of, home AV stuff. So that person, which he was referring to me at the time, would take that company over. So I was like, sure, I guess I'll give this a try since I have some more time off before I want to go back to school. So I just did that, and then Garrett, through a guy that you knew at a church while you ran sound, he kind of ran a crew of guys who did the same thing, but on like a massive commercial, way bigger level than just home audio video stuff. So I started doing that, not thinking how long I would get into it, and I really like it. So I'm not sure if this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life, but I'm able to pay the bills.
Get married and own a home and a cool car.
Yeah, I'm able to buy stuff, and I work long hours, but I also have the opportunity to have decent amount of time off and stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I can't really see I've accumulated, so many skills in this trade that I feel like it'd be dumb for me to just start over, So
for sure. Yeah.
So, and like I said, I do enjoy it. It's stuff that I know how to do, and I love the people that I work with. Going to work a lot of the time feels like I'm just hanging out with friends and stuff too. So yeah, that's what I do.
Nice. What about you, Jacob? What have you been doing for work these days?
Well, I graduated college with a film degree. Been looking for reliable work for about a year now. Still hasn't come. It's kind of heartbreaking, but I'm not going to give up.
I feel you.
Still waiting for that break. But in the meantime, I have said before, it was like a big reveal or something back when because no one knew what I did for a job. But I work at a place called Fresh and Fit. It is a meal plan delivery service, I guess, kind of. It's freshly made, chef-made food. It's made every day, and I deliver it to homeowners and gyms in the metro Atlanta area.
Nice. See, I'm envious of your job because it sounds so great to just drive a truck and listen to music or a podcast and no one bother you, and all you're doing is just driving from point A to point B.
The most I talk to anyone is just like, hey, how you doing? See you later.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's very cool.
And I make more money than I should doing that. So I don't know how they pay us like this.
Man, are they hiring?
We actually are.
Are you? Because maybe...
but you have to... It's a lot of hours.
I think it is, yeah, because
it's with
sometimes
it's over 40 hours a week.
Yeah, with everything I have going on, I wouldn't actually have time, but purely out of curiosity because I'm once again in the job market. But that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making more money than I ever have, and you know, it's nice, but I don't want to be doing this forever because I don't really enjoy it that much.
I feel you.
As much as I enjoy, like, it's an easy job and it's nice having all this time just like listen to music or podcasts or whatever. But
right,
you know, I don't want to be driving a truck the rest of my life. So,
yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either. But right now, it sounds like it's a pretty sweet gig.
No, I mean, it's given me the ability to afford a computer, and all this stuff that I wouldn't have.
I can't afford a computer right now, so that's very cool.
I'm planning on buying a new car this winter, so
nice. You can get rid of the old Lexus, huh?
I don't know if I'm going to get rid of it or just keep it.
Keep it in a garage somewhere.
Yeah, because it's not really worth that much. So,
okay.
Yeah, I've looked.
You gonna become a hoarder with your vehicle?
No, I don't know. I always like had this idea that I would suit it up, like put a body on it and replace some parts, but
go race it in the streets of Atlanta like Fast and Furious.
Yeah, because I mean, we've had friends that have always like told me that I should do that, and like I've always wanted to in the back of my mind, but you know, at the same time, I'm not a huge car person.
Right, me neither.
So I don't know. What I'm going to do with my Lexus. It's served me well. It's my only car.
It has. I'll never forget. I mean, I've done stuff like this too. You're not the only one, but I'll never forget when we went into class one day in high school and you got called to the office because your car was just like the door was open and it was like running in the parking lot. We've been in school for like half an hour. Yeah. Like, Jacob, your car's on and your door's open.
I think luckily I left my window down or I would have locked my keys in my car.
Right. That would be awful. I've done stuff like that a million times.
And I've never had a spare key to my car. So I've had to get it opened like 3 or 4 times from locksmiths.
Yeah, that happened to me all the time when I was in community college. I would stay up all night and then go to school because I just didn't care about anything when I was going to school there. And multiple weeks in a row, I would lock my keys in my car at least twice a week. And I'd have to call AAA and then to come unlock. And it'd be the same guy every time. Be like, oh, you did it again, huh? I was like, yeah. Give me like water and a snack. But yeah, I do that all the time. Speaking of not caring about cars very much, my Ford Explorer is a handy vehicle. It gets me from point A to point B. It doesn't look cool or anything, obviously. So I don't really care if people like nick me or anything. I'm just kind of like whatever about it. But I was going down a one-way street in Atlanta, as you do in most streets in Atlanta. And so I couldn't turn around. It was very narrow, but my GPS took me down this weird road for some reason. With this truck sort of parked in the middle, but off to the side, loading it up just enough to where I could squeeze through. So I was squeezing, this is today, I was squeezing through the truck and this brick wall of this alleyway I was driving through. And I didn't touch the truck, but right when I start going through, you just hear just my mirror just scraping against the brick wall. And it's like, well, whatever. All the way through and just kept going.
Oh, God.
I haven't checked the mirror. It might be fine. You know, when you're in a car, it always sounds worse than it actually is, I think, because it just like the sounds kind of like bounce around in there. But yeah, I probably potentially destroyed my mirror driving through an alleyway today.
Does your mirror still work?
Yeah. I mean, I can still see through it.
That's what's important.
So, yeah, I didn't even think twice about it. After I left the alleyway, I'd already forgotten I did that. So I just remembered, speaking of not caring about cars very much.
Preston would have a heart attack if he did that to his car.
Oh, yeah. I imagine getting any nick or scratch or having someone rip your bumper off the Mustang would suck, Preston.
Yeah, it would suck if that happened. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think if anyone... This is back like a while ago to where I don't think anyone actually was watching many of our Let's Plays. But there's a Let's Play we were doing called... what was that dodgeball game called?
Yeah, that dodgeball game. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I can't remember. We did a Let's Play where we were doing that, and my mom that evening in the middle of the video was yelling at me from downstairs. She was very flustered. Apparently, she was going to be very late to work. So she's yelling at me like, you need to come move your car's in the way, blah, 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 blah. So I'm so confused because, you know, when we're doing videos, I'm like in the zone of doing the video. So I have to like break that mindset. And I'm like running downstairs and I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about. She's just yelling at me like, hurry, 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 hurry. I'm like, what's happening? So I just jump in my car and I totally forget Preston is parked in our driveway. Like just have no memory of him parking there because it was hit or miss at that point. We would either pick you up from the pool or you'd park in our driveway. And I just couldn't remember which one it was. So obviously I'm just flustered. My mom's literally, as I'm trying to back out, chasing me down the driveway in her car, her lights blinding me. I'm like, what's going on? And I just try to get out of my driveway. And when I reverse and turn, I hear just like a snap, like a twig almost. Like, whoosh. I was like, what in the world was that? And I pull out of my driveway and Preston's whole bumper of his Mustang's hanging off. I was like, oh no! And I realized kind of like the lip where my right front wheel is like hooked onto his bumper. And when I pulled out, just ripped the whole thing off. And that put a damper on that Let's Play, to say the least, because I had to walk in and tell Preston, I'm like, Preston, I've destroyed your car. And he's like, oh. I was like, no, seriously, I've literally destroyed your car. So we had to deal with that, and Preston's dad had to drive from Preston's house, which is a long way, all the way to my house to pick up the piece of his bumper so they could drive him home. And we still finished the Let's Play, and there's a hilarious transition between us being happy, having a good time, to just Preston dead for the rest of the video. I'm amazed you had the courage to finish that video. But yeah, that was a thing, so...
Yep,
I'd had it park exclusively at the pool, because that wasn't the first time someone's hit your car when you parked at my house.
No, I've had 4 cars. My first car was a 95 Isuzu Rodeo. No, oh yeah, you did. Every car I've ever owned has been hit, and you have hit 2 of them, and your girlfriend hit another one. Yeah. So my first Isuzu Rodeo, which I don't blame you for this one at all, we were like ascending this mountain and I could not see anything. So I was slowing down because I was thinking like, okay, I need to slow down a little bit. I don't want to run into anybody. And then you just plow into the back of me.
Yeah. So we were both blinded by the same sun. It was like, I remember going up that hill. It was like, it was so bright that it's like the kind of bright you can't even describe to someone.
We had just woken up too. We were at a friend's house and like didn't get any sleep. So that happened. Then my next
car... We went to Disney World later that day too, so it was kind of okay.
Yeah, it was whatever.
We are way off topic.
Yeah, I don't even know how we got here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then you haven't even told us your work/study.
Oh yeah. All right, do that, Garrett.
I'm trying to think of what my actual occupation is these days, because I do so many different things. I mean, mostly just all-around production, whether it be video or audio, but I ended up doing, I mean, currently right now what I'm doing is freelance live sound production on the weekends and occasional video projects, and predominantly all video game stuff, which is fun. So I ended up there by going, I mean, even growing up, I was editing video. I mean, the first job I ever had, I was 16, was editing for a company who interviewed, I think I've mentioned this before, and they interviewed war veterans predominantly from World War II, and they would film their stories and they'd send me all the videos, and all I'd have to do is cut down the videos and then upload them, essentially like YouTube videos, but to their website. They're called the Witness to War Foundation.
Do they still exist?
They do, yeah. So I did that for like 3.5 years when I was 16. I was a punk kid too, man, because they paid very well for that job, but I think they were expecting most video editors to crank out maybe a handful of videos a month, and I would literally crank out like 65 plus videos a month because I had nothing else to do. I was on summer break and I would just edit videos all day long, so I was practically stealing from them. I was working so much, and me being a 16-year-old kid getting like huge checks in the mail, of course I'm freaking out. I'm like, I have all this money. I had nothing to do with the money. I didn't have a girlfriend. I couldn't drive, so I just kind of like sat on it. But I got so sick of editing videos, and they got to a point where they wanted to change the look of everything, and they were using at the time Adobe Premiere, and I was using Final Cut, and they wanted me to use these specific titles and transitions and stuff that I just didn't have in Final Cut. And I mean, I guess I could have afforded Adobe at the time, but I was just being a idiot about it. So I was responding to their emails very immaturely and stuff, saying like, I don't have that stuff. Like I crank out all your content anyway, so I don't know why it matters. Like 99% of the videos look like my style. I don't know why do you want to change them and stuff. But they essentially fired me. Like, we need to end this working relationship, because I like bitched out about them telling me to change stuff. So that's how I lost that job. But that's how I've always had like a interest and passion for video. I mean, when we were little kids, I mean, Preston remembers we made home videos all the time. We made a Matrix movie based off Enter the Matrix, the video game, and the movies. A movie called Dragon Sword. A 007 movie, which is the first movie we ever made. So we made little videos like that. So I've always had an interest in video production. But graduated high school, went to community college, hated it. And then took a couple years. What did I do in between community? Oh, yeah. Atlanta Institute of Music. I went to audio engineering school and graduated. I totally forgot I did that. But I went to audio engineering school because a dude I went to high school with graduated from said school with a drum certificate, and you don't get degrees there. I mean, you can get an associate's degree now. They've kind of changed it, but at the time, you'd literally get a certificate that basically says "good job, you passed." So he did that for drums, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I kind of want to look into that." At first, I thought I wanted to go for drums because I was even to this day, just at a very intermediate level for drumming. I never reached a level to where I thought I was like, "Oh, I'm a really good drum player. I could just play some stuff," and that was about it. So I looked into it, and it was rather far more challenging to get in for playing an instrument than I thought it was. So I'm like, all right, I'll rethink this. And I saw they have an engineering side of things. And then me and Preston were trying to do the metal band. We went and recorded one of our songs, and I got to kind of see the audio engineering side of things with a buddy of ours that recorded a lot of our music. It's like, wow, this is so cool. So then I applied, went to school there, graduated, went there for a year, and that's when we all lived in the apartment. Best year of my life still to this day. It was so much fun. And I think for a few years after that, I just did all sound stuff. I mean, I haven't really had a job outside of sound or video since going to school there, which is cool. Because I can't even fathom having to get a job at like a retail or a restaurant or something. I've had those thoughts go through my mind, like, should I do that?
Worked at a GameStop.
Oh yeah, I did. I worked at GameStop in between. Right out of audio engineering school, I did GameStop, and then I got a sound job, and ever since then, I've been doing sound stuff. But so audio stuff all on the weekends, where I literally just show up at a venue and run sound for a band, and ranging from all genres like bluegrass to rock to singer-songwriter to jazz. I think Preston hung out with me one night at a venue right before we started the job Preston's doing currently, where a Grateful Undead band played with like 16 people, and it was so excessive. It was one of the last nights I worked at that venue. But I do that. Every now and then I'll do video projects. I was recently on staff of a church for a year as the technical director. I'm sure some of you remember me mentioning that. That was fun because literally all I did every single day was either make videos or run sound every single day for a year, which was cool, but it was demanding because I was a staff position, so I'm constantly having to go to meetings and plan stuff weeks in advance and do all these projects that really hindered the production of It's Obvious Gaming. And believe it or not, every single job I've had that I no longer have, I've quit literally because of It's Obvious Gaming, because I get to a point where it drives me crazy that I can't produce enough of our content, that it just drives me mad, because not only do I love It's Obvious Gaming so much, but I just so wholeheartedly believe in it, or at least believe in what we're doing. Even if we never, like we said 100 times, even if we never transcend upon or beyond where we're at currently, I just believe in it so much. So I quit the technical director job, couple other things. Oh, yeah, I quit SMS predominantly because of It's Obvious Gaming, but also because I had thoughts in the back of my head like I want to go back to school and really pursue the not really filmmaking, but video production side of me that I've never really put a whole lot of effort into. So I went to apply to the school I'm at currently, which is the Savannah College of Art and Design in Atlanta. So I'm currently pursuing a film and TV degree. Not even because I want to make movies or anything. I just want to have a degree, really as a fail-safe, no matter what I'm really pursuing, if all else fails, I'll have that degree to just really focus on video production. But doing that, running sound on the weekends, and as some of you know, recently I started working with a company called Cog Connected. It's all video game media stuff, and that's why I went to E3. And going to PAX in September, going to an EA thing next week. So that's been an absolute blast. It's literally my dream job. Obviously I don't get paid because it's a big team and they can't afford to pay everyone, which is totally cool because I still love working for them. But it's cool to wake up in the morning to realize all I have to do today is video game related. Even if I'm working 14 hours straight nonstop, it is literally all related to video games, which is amazing to me, which is what I want to do for the rest of my life, if at all possible. I know that sounds so childish and ridiculous, but if I can do something with video games for a living, that'd be amazing. So that's why I'm pursuing it so strongly through everything we're doing. So yeah, I think it's the reason why I love It's Obvious Gaming so much is because it's, like I've said before, it's the culmination of all the things I love. It's video games, audio, video, and hanging out with my best friends and all of you who tune in. So it's literally all of it. It's just everything I've ever wanted to do. So that's why I'm pursuing games media, because it's the culmination of all things I love. And that's how I'm doing that.
All right.
Moving on, finally.
Jesus.
Guard says, how do you feel about Splatoon 2? Will you be playing it? Is it worth buying? Will it be the competitive game on Switch some people are looking for? Guys, before I answer, how do you feel about Splatoon 2? Do you have any plans to play it whatsoever?
Yes.
Nope.
You do, Preston. When do you think you're going to play it?
Probably the next trip I take, or the next trip that has a lengthy plane ride.
Nice. Is that soon?
I don't think. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure eventually at some point I'm going to take a long flight somewhere. And, if nothing else is out, I guess I need to look at the reviews to see how the single player campaign is, because that'd probably be the only thing that I play. I'm assuming it's pretty good. The reviews have been pretty good. So, I haven't really looked into how's the story, but I heard the first one had a pretty decent story. So I'm assuming this one does as well. But,
nice.
I don't know, just something new to play, if I have to play the Switch. So
definitely. I want to play Splatoon 2. Again, every single time I talk about any video game, I'm like, I don't have time, because I really don't. But I'd love to play it, mostly because I contributed to the review on COG's website for Splatoon, and that's really how I began to understand all the ins and outs of the game. And through doing so, I realized how cool that game actually looks. And they even talk about a bit about the first one. And as far as I've heard, like you said, on multiple reviews, people have been saying that the campaign mode, although pretty simple, is a lot of fun, especially in teaching you the mechanics of the game. But as far as the competitive side of things, I think it definitely is the competitive game Switch owners are looking for. At least it's a start to that, because it really is. It's a shooter. I mean, even it's a very colorful, playful shooter. It's a shooter nonetheless with a lot of unique modes to it. And I think in that sense, that's what attracts me to it, is the PvP side of things, as usual. But it just looks like a ton of fun. The soundtrack's amazing, too, and I love the character. Because it's funny, because I'd see the squid people. What are they called again?
Squid Kids?
Something like that. Yeah. But I'd see them in Mario Kart. I'm like, they look kind of weird. But after seeing the whole
like
game in action...
Ink Girl or something?
Inklings, that's what it is. It's Inklings.
Yeah.
But after seeing them in action in Splatoon itself... I feel like they totally fit into the vibe and world of Nintendo. And I think the game looks spectacular. So I'd love to play it, hopefully, in the near future. But, yeah. Jacob, you have no intention whatsoever?
I don't even have enough time to play Zelda.
I feel you. By the way, Preston, this is random, but I finished all the shrines, and I acquired the Tunic of the Wild.
Nice.
That thing is the most underwhelming thing I've ever put on Link in my entire life.
Why is that?
I know it's designed after like the original a little bit, but I think he looks like a total dweeb in it, man. So I just don't wear it.
Oh man, I think it looks awesome.
I know you can through Amiibos you can get like the Ocarina of Time outfit and can't you get Twilight Princesses as well?
Yeah, you can get Skyward Swords also.
See, I think all of those look way cooler than Tunic of the Wild, personally.
I mean, I think they all look... I mean, I definitely lean towards the Twilight Princess look. I think that's the coolest Link has ever looked. That can have some
chainmail in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I like the Tunic of the Wild fine. And if you upgrade it all the way, I'm pretty sure it's... I don't want to confidently say it's the most... It has the highest defense, but it's definitely up there. So
yeah, because I mean, all the stuff I've upgraded that I currently have is fully upgraded, and it's very high. So I mean, and he looks cool, so I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah.
But all I really have left is to collect a handful of more memories and defeat Ganon, and that's my time with Zelda until the DLC comes out.
Yeah. Are you doing the trials anymore?
I want to go back to that. It's funny because I started the third wave of trials, and I got about halfway through them, and I died. And ever since then, I haven't had a chance to go back to it. So yeah. At some point, I'll finish them.
Nice.
But Sam Harris says, Martin MC22 says, I think that your 20s are probably some of the most complex / important years. Given that you guys are in your mid to late 20s and seem to have a set idea when it comes to the path you plan on taking, what would be your biggest piece of advice for someone just entering their 20s? What about you, Preston? You're the one who's married and has a house. What do you have to say? You old man.
I don't think I have any right to tell anybody, give anybody advice. Man, that's hard.
If there's anything that you want to do in your life, do it now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If you can afford to do it. Because when you settle down and, you have a family, if you want one, you're not going to have time
when you
to
get married and have a house and a car payment, your life's over. Isn't that right, Preston?
Yeah, dude. It's not what I meant. Help me, please. Help me out of this.
Help me escape.
That's what I did. That's what I did with my car. I knew I wanted a sport. I knew I wanted a cool car. So actually, an older gentleman that we worked with, You remember him?
I remember that conversation too. What you're talking about.
He told me that pretty much the exact same thing Jacob just said. Because I'd been on the fence if I like wanted to, get this car. I'd been eyeballing the new Mustangs, and I'd been going like back and forth if I could afford it or if I wanted one. And he was like, "Man, you might as well do it now before you get a wife that tells you no." So I pulled the trigger and did it. So yeah, I think that's pretty good advice.
If you're in your 20s and you don't know what you want to do, just try different things. Try different things that interest you. What do you like?
Try being a serial killer. Try being a judge. Try being a NASCAR driver.
Whatever you're into,
Yeah. I think a lot of pressure is put on people going right into college that like, you have to know what you're doing. But I mean, you eventually have to get in the mindset of, I know what you're doing. But I think
our schooling system in America doesn't do a great job of preparing you to go into the real world. I feel like they just teach you the bare minimals. Like
I can't define mortgage. I know what a mortgage is, a house payment, but I can't tell you why it's called mortgage.
Yeah,
hey, but man, you know how to find the like angle of a freaking square in the Pythagorean theorem or whatever.
I actually don't. I paid someone to take my math
you
class.
Taught
okay.
So
I
know how to paint a color swatch pretty cleanly.
Yeah, I know how to do college algebra. Am I ever going to use it again? No,
absolutely not.
Those walked out of my last algebra class.
Every time I'm drawing something or painting something, I'm like, these are literally precious moments of my life I'm throwing to the wind. And everyone tells me, it's in pursuit of a degree. I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. I'm like, I'm never going to use it again.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to that, like, yeah, if you're, like, when I was in college, I was going for a music degree and I was doing algebra. And it's like, yeah, it sucks, but like, you can't have that mindset. Sometimes you have to just do stuff to get through the process and get your degree. So you do have to just put up with stuff that, yeah, you're never going to use. But I mean, that's just what you have to do to get past it. I guess you could just have in your mindset, like, I just have to get over this hump. And then, I never have to mess with math again or whatever. So
I have many people older than me telling me that in your 20s, it really is just a period of figuring things out, unless you're Preston and you're married and have a house and a car.
I still haven't still figured everything out. So
right. So I mean, everyone said, most people I know say that your 20s are all about figuring out who you're going to be and what you want to do. And even when you get older, I mean, society tries to tell you like, oh, when you're in your 20s, you kind of figure out where your life is going and you go from there. But I know people that are much older than I am who still have not fully decided what they want to do with their life. They're just
some people never figure it out.
Right, they just do things, which is fine. I mean, to each his own again, but I don't even know if I have any advice either, but definitely if there's something you're passionate about, just pursue it. I mean, for all I know, 10 years from now, I could be living on the streets trying to pursue a film degree. I don't know. But I'm pursuing it because I love it so much. And at the end of every day, even if I'm not making a ton of money, if I make just enough money to sustain myself, then I'm happy. So, because that's what I love, is just working on things I enjoy. So versus a huge paycheck. So it varies person per person.
You'd be staying in my guest room before you're out on the streets. So
I appreciate that. That or your backyard with all the spiders.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, again, if you're passionate about something, pursue it with everything you have, because that's what I've been doing for a couple years now, and I don't regret a second of it. It's exhausting, sure, and a lot of times it's horrifying, but I still just trudge on with the utmost faith that I'm pursuing something that will pay off, which in a sense it pays off every day because I'm having a great time doing so. So it's not really the end goal for me. It's just enjoying the ride, which everyone says. It's not original whatsoever, but it's true.
Basically, Martin, just go out and have fun. You're in your early 20s. You're in your prime of your life at your early 20s. So
right.
Just go out and have fun.
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Am I right? Weekend. What is that phrase again? Is it cheers to the freaking weekend?
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect when I said that to you at the lake.
Yeah.
Because it really was cheers to the freaking weekend.
I don't remember when you said it, but
it was right when we got there. Everyone's like, let's whip out all the drinks. I was like, dude, cheers to the freaking weekend. I hate that so much. I hate myself for saying it, but
I like saying it because everyone always laughs.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That's why I say it. All right, the next one's a little lengthy, but it's one of my favorites, and it's worth getting through. Stick with me, boys.
You're skipping one.
Am I? Oh, Sam Harris. Good call, Jacob. My eyes are off.
So slow.
Forgive me, Sam.
We need to speed up.
Sam says, "Hey, dudes. With a few sequels coming out this year, do you think they will improve or tarnish their predecessors?" So before we continue, let's think about sequels here. Wolfenstein, Shadow of Mordor, Star Wars. Is Call of Duty technically a sequel? Yeah. I think in some ways it is.
Oh, yeah.
Call of Duty. What am I forgetting in there? Assassin's Creed. Technically
I wouldn't count Call of Duty.
I mean, it is a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's separate. I mean, there's like World at War. I mean, this is World War II. We haven't had a World War II game in a while. Like all the Call of Duties aren't connected.
What if we consider,
other.
Just to satisfy you, Jacob, what if we consider Call of Duty World War II a sequel to Advanced Warfare? Would that make you feel better? Because it's the same developer.
I mean, I'm not upset about it. I don't care what we do.
Okay. Are there any other sequels we're forgetting other than those?
We say Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2, yeah.
Mario Kart 8.
We're thinking fall now.
Let's just stick with the 2s then.
Yeah. So Destiny 2. Yeah. Definitely going to be an improvement, I think. Especially after all this IGN first stuff we're seeing, dude. I'll be the first to admit, I'm really excited for Destiny 2 now. Not only after playing the beta and getting a taste for it myself, although very minor, everything I've seen coming out of IGN, the game modes and the weapons and some of the story stuff, has me very excited. So I think it's definitely going to improve upon it.
Yeah.
You think so, Jacob?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree completely.
Preston, you plan on playing Destiny when you have the time, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I played the beta quite a bit and I enjoyed it.
That's so funny that you did. We never played with you once.
Yeah.
Did you hear that there's going to be over 50 cutscenes in Destiny 2?
50?
Whoa. Wow. I'm definitely interested in the story for sure. More so than, I guess, the story and strikes and stuff. The PvP was fun. I played a few matches and I did way better than I thought I would have done, not having played a competitive shooter in a while. But I definitely enjoyed the strike and story mission more. So I'm looking forward to that. And from what I played, it seems improved. I really like the the way they switch the weapons, that snipers and shotguns are heavy now, just so I feel like that kind of probably benefits PvP more than a PvE. So
gives it that Halo feel.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with Destiny 1 was people running around with the shotgun and stuff. I didn't really mind the sniper so much, but the shotgun really was kind of annoying. So that's cool that it's a power weapon now, or relies on heavy ammo.
Did you use the pulse rifles?
Yeah, I did use the pulse rifle. I liked it.
They were very good in the beta.
But just from the story mission, it was so cinematic, just like ridiculously cinematic compared to the first game. So that's a really substantial improvement in my opinion. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that most.
Nice. I think what's funny is that first mission in the beta had more story than all of vanilla Destiny combined.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So let me ask you a really dumb question about Destiny.
Yeah,
in the story mission where you go meet the Titan, what's his name? Zavala? And there's like 2 other Guardians with you. Are those real people or were those AI people?
Those are other players, yes.
Those are other players. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I don't know why they were there, but they were.
Yeah, and I just was trying to think about it. Like, are they in this exact same like part of the mission as I am right now? Like, I was just trying to think how they did that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just when multiple people get there, they group 2 other people up with you. I don't know. Oh,
well, I mean that's pretty cool, dude. That'd be really cool if they did that throughout the game. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a question I have. I don't know if like the whole story is going to be like that, or if you can play with a friend through the whole story.
I mean, I'm sure you can.
I don't know what they're
fire team it through the entire story. That'd be insane if they changed that.
I agree.
So, but yeah, out of getting on back on topic, out of everything you listed, everything in terms of the sequels compared to the original, it looks way better. Like Wolfenstein 2, the new footage that was released yesterday or whatever, looks like it's improved everything from the first one. I'm so excited to play that. Battlefront 2, adding a story mode and having just a much bigger progression system and stuff, looks way better. Just the points we kind of made, or you know more about Splatoon 2, but it seems like that that's just tweaked things and it's been a better game. It's very
paint this time around.
Yeah. I guess could we throw Uncharted Lost Legacy in there? I've heard that's doing new things. There's like a
that's
chapter 4 like has a massive
fall game going into fall.
Yeah, it has like a summer. it's like their take on like kind of a bigger open world. Did you hear about that? Chapter 4 is like kind of like a mini open world.
Yeah, I have heard that they're pretty large areas.
Yeah, so it seems like they're trying something new. So I don't know. It's really. Can you even think of a sequel to a game that was worse? Really?
No.
I could say Dragon Age 2. That's the only one that sticks out. A lot of people didn't really like that one. I liked it, but I think I liked the first one better. They definitely made the second one. It seemed like they had a time limit. And they crunched to get it out because there were lots of reused areas and stuff. But typically in video games, it's the exact opposite of movies. They seem to be critically received better and stuff. So I mean,
what about that Mirror's Edge game that came out?
Yeah,
I know it was a prequel.
I mean, it was fine. That'd be a topic to actually. I don't know if that one was necessarily better. I don't know. I'd say for the most part, especially the big AAA games and stuff, the sequels tend to do way better. So it's easy to take what worked well with a game and actually put it into the next one, where if you do that with a movie, people complain that like, oh, I'm seeing the same movie again,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, sometimes it's similar with a game, but if you add just enough more, but it's still familiar, it seems those are always the most critically well-received sequels, are the ones that feel familiar but have enough in there that tweaks the original.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
I think you nailed it. All of them look great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so excited for Wolfenstein 2. Just seeing that new footage the other day just psyched me so much.
It does look so good.
I got to get off, unfortunately, but I did want to give a shout out to one of the questions that asked, I believe it asked about Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
I am a massive fan of the Mexican pizza.
That's the very last one. We'll just go ahead and answer that. Renee Garcia says, how do you guys feel about Mexican pizza?
I've never had it.
I love it.
Tell me what the Mexican pizza is.
It is I worked at Taco Bell. I can tell you exactly what's on it. It's what type of shell is it? Jacob, you've had a crunch wrap, correct?
Yeah.
You know that like crunchy like hard shell taco, but that's flat, that's in it?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's really flaky and crispy. So it's not hard like a soft shell. Okay. There's that on the bottom. Then there's beans, ground beef, and then you top it again with another one of those things. And then they have this pizza sauce they put on top of it with cheese and tomatoes, and then that's it. They cut it into triangles.
So they cut a hard shell into triangles.
Well, it's not hard. It's like flaky. It's it's one of the few Taco Bell items that they have like specific things that they use on it. Like the pizza sauce and those two shells are only used for the Mexican pizza, nothing else. So
I might try this next time we go.
It's very tasty. I get it every.
Are we
now
going to
and
Taco Bell? Or I guess we're not doing it Saturday,
Sunday.
Why wouldn't we?
I'm down to go Sunday.
I certainly hope we do.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do a podcast, or at least the It's Obvious podcast, without Taco Bell beforehand anymore.
I feel kind of off right now that we haven't had Taco Bell.
Yeah, it is bizarre for sure.
But anyways, I got to get off. Unfortunately, I'm absolutely zonked. Sorry if I wasn't as peppy as I normally am. I'm so tired.
And that's okay. But, we appreciate you being here nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have fun, and I'll see the viewers on the next It's Obvious Gaming podcast.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. See ya.
Have a good night.
Peace. All right, Jacob. It's just you and me now.
All right.
I hate that guy. I'm glad he's gone, and Mexican pizzas suck. Just kidding. I never had it either.
You should get it.
I was never really into the way it looks.
Get it with me.
How about you get it and let me try a bite?
No. Get it with me. It's cheap.
I don't know, Jacob.
Stop being a coward.
Stop being a coward. I mean, I guess I'll get it. Why not?
All right.
Sure, Jacob. Fine. I'll get it with you.
Let's move on.
It's settled. All right. This is the lengthy one, but it's a fun one. You ready, Jacob?
Yes.
Philip James says, Men, good morrow to you. Video games have a significant place in my life, and without them, I would not be who I am today. But more importantly, music has had the most impact on my life. The Ghost Inside, Stick to Your Guns, and most importantly, my mother introducing me to Metallica at a young age had a serious impact on my musical tastes. So my question to you guys is, What are some of the lyrics from your favorite bands that have made a lasting impression on you? Garrett, my favorite line from The Ghost Inside, there are so many. Quote, missing but mended, some hearts never break. The things inside us all found only to be stronger than before. I'll see you when the sun sets. That's excellent lyrics, Philip, off of Fury and the Fallen Ones. One of my favorite songs off that album. He says, it gets me every time. Preston, my favorite lyric from the Devil Wears Prada is, chainsaw brutality, tornado strength. That definitely sounds pretty metal. I do say so myself, Jacob. Classic. And finally, Jacob, my favorite Linkin Park lyric has to be, well, really anything off of Hybrid Theory, truthfully. That album is great. Those are just some of mine. Now tell me yours. Oh, and P.S. Preston, how can you not get a small platinum trophy tattoo somewhere on your body? It's a perfect tattoo for you. Behind the ear, maybe the wrist, somewhere cool. Or maybe, Jacob, he could put a platinum trophy tear on his eye. And every platinum he gets, he adds a tear. He'd have a lot of tears right now.
Lord. Or you just put a platinum trophy on his dick.
That'd be pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Just whip out that trophy. You want this prize trophy?
That's a pretty good idea, Jacob. I like your style. Yeah, platinum trophy tattoo does make sense for Preston, for sure.
That is a good idea.
Right on his chest, where his heart is. That's his true love, is the platinum trophy.
Yes.
So his wife is just, he's masquerading as a man who cares for a woman more than trophies, but in reality, he's married to the trophies.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, but Jacob, tell me some of your favorite lyrics from your favorite bands that have had a lasting impression on you.
You go first.
Okay, well, most of mine are Ghost Inside. Actually, all the ones I've listed are Ghost Inside because they're the ones that have actually impacted me. And there's plenty of bands out there that I've loved their lyrics, and I could name countless songs, and I could do a whole podcast based on music, but all the Ghost Inside lyrics that have had an impact on my life. So I realized the Ghost Inside was my favorite band after hearing these lyrics. But before I tell you about that part, Jacob, the first song I ever heard by the Ghost Inside was off of the album Returners. It's called Unspoken. Fantastic song. One of their most popular songs. And I saw that music video on Facebook because some dude had sent it to some girl that I didn't even know. He was like, check this out. And I watched the video. I was like, wow, that song is awesome. So I think I went to iTunes, or maybe I just YouTubed the Ghost Inside. And the first song that came up at the time was a song called Greater Distance. And the opening lines to that song are, all the wrath and all the faith I have inside is eating me alive. And when I heard those words, I'm like, that is exactly how I feel every day of my life. All the wrath and all the faith I have inside is eating me alive. It's like a constant internal battle human beings typically face. And the second I heard those lyrics, they hit so hard at the beginning, I instantly knew they were my favorite bands. I'd never heard lyrics that spoke to me so plainly and purely like that in my life. And the thing about favorite bands I've realized is, this is what I believe. I think people's favorite bands that like they're passionate about and they know will be their favorite bands the rest of their lives, they've listened to those bands at a critical moment in their life where if it could have been any band, but if a certain band was there for them at that specific time, that's why it's their favorite band. Like at this portion of my life, I can't remember all that was going on, but there's something in my life I wasn't too happy about. But when I heard this song, it just clicked so perfectly. That's when I knew they were my favorite. So I think just people's favorite bands are all due to like those moments in their lives that like that band was there when they needed them to be.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah. It is weird to think like, no offense to anyone, my favorite artist is Katy Perry because I heard California Girls when I was ice skating and I knew it was my favorite song ever. She was my favorite artist because of that. I mean, maybe it is like that for someone, but I think that's how it works.
It's a good song, by the way.
It is a great song, yeah. I think we listened to that on repeat when I went on a mission trip to the Philippines. It was like really famous at the time. We just listened to it all day long.
I'll never unsee that performance. I think it was on SNL where that kid was doing that dance.
Oh, dude, I never saw that, but I heard it was terrible.
You haven't seen that?
No, I was too afraid because people told me it was really cringy. I didn't want to watch it.
Dude, watch it.
Should I?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it tonight as I'm falling asleep.
It's so bad.
I saw the thumbnail and I already
Please
knew it
watch
bad.
it. It's so bad.
I was so scared, Jacob. I was horrified.
It makes me want to just throw my phone every time I watch it.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I can't never watch it when I see it. I'm just like, I got to see this.
I assume most of you guys listening have heard or seen the highlights from the Pokemon Go Fest. Did you watch that, Jacob? Oh, gosh, dude. That's some of the worst cringe I've felt in a while, man. That hurts so bad. It was dark. I was watching that. Sometimes
dude, that kid with the Team Mystic shirt.
Yeah.
I wanted to punch that kid. Oh my god.
It's cringe videos like that, Jacob, to where I question them like, how did we reach this dark point in the history of human kind and of mankind. How have we stooped this low?
Fix your game.
Oh gosh, dude, it hurts so bad. Anyway, lyrics. Another song off the album Returners is called Unspoken. Like I mentioned, the first song I ever heard by them. I mean, all these songs I'm listening, I love all the lyrics, but these specific segments stand out to me above all the rest. And one portion in Unspoken says, "This could be my destiny. I won't stray from the path. Nothing else can take control of my mind." That's on repeat in my head a lot of the time, too. When I'm like I told you, the things I pursue, I'm so passionate about, and I believe so wholeheartedly in that. Those lyrics just make sense to me. This could be my destiny. I won't stray from the path. Nothing else can take control of my mind. Like the thing that controls my mind is what I'm pursuing with everything I have, and those lyrics just resonate with me. Another song off of their first album, Fury and the Fallen Ones. It's called The Brave, and I've always loved this line. It's right before like the climax of the song, but he says, "This is past the point of words, so grab your guns and follow me." I think that just sounds so cool. Like all of this arguing and all of this debate that's been going on, it's all past the point of words, so grab your guns and follow me. It's just like going to battle. Sounds cool. Revolutionary is also off Fury and the Fallen Ones, and this just sounds hardcore. It says, "Like pigs to the slaughter, you drop dead in a pool of your own filth." I've just always loved that because it's so brutal. The song called The Conflict off Returners, I've always liked a lot. It says, "I want you to know the love that set me free. I don't worship a concept, I follow a king." That's beautiful. It always made me question if Jonathan Vigil was a follower of Christ or he believed in some sort of God, because that sounds very spiritual to me. But for me personally, in my view, it's like a Christ thing for me, but it may be something different from him. But I've always liked those lyrics a lot. All of the lyrics, too, This Is What I Know About Sacrifice is a song I practically listen to weekly, because every one of those lyrics is exactly what's going through my mind when I'm relentlessly doing something without having any free time. But it's a sacrifice that I know is worth it, and that's why I like that song. The Great Unknown is another good one. Great Unknown is a song I listened to when I was going to LA for the first time to do E3, to not only go to E3, but to work E3, having literally no clue what I was in for, but I had to just go and just choose not to be afraid. And that's why I listen to The Great Unknown, is because that song's kind of about going into something that you're not so sure about, but even if you're afraid of it, you're going anyway. So that song's good. Move Me off of their latest album, Dear Youth, is an awesome song as well. All these songs I'm listing kind of have a similar subject matter behind them. I'm a huge fan of songs that are, I guess you can call them uplifting, but encouraging you to pursue what you believe in to the ends of the earth, even if it like just cost you your life. Essentially, just pursue it with everything you've got. I'm just all about chasing after things you want to do, no matter what.
Mine are literally like the exact opposite.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, Greater Distance, the first one I talked about, which is my favorite song by the Ghost Inside. The only short film I've ever made was for my film class. I've shown it to you, it was a while ago. But the only short film I ever made was entirely based off that song called Greater Distance. And it's all about pursuing your dreams, no matter what stands in your way. And that's always been a very profound message to me. And I made a story about it, which I liked a lot. So that's how much that song means to me. And then lastly is the song that literally, Jacob, changed the course of my life as I know it. I would not be sitting at this table talking to you right now, probably, if it were not for this song. And it was when I was, Dear Youth had not been out very long, and I was still working with Preston with SMS, and we were working at a church in Woodstock, and we'd been there for like, at this point, 9 weeks straight, just relentlessly, countless hours, just over and over and over again, doing the same things. And again, I never hated that job. It actually, like Preston says, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it as well. It just was taking so much time away from ItsObviousGaming that I wanted to leave. But I had to think, like, I can't just quit and do ItsObviousGaming. Obviously, I have to do something with my life in case ItsObviousGaming doesn't turn into anything more than it is. But I had been thinking for a while, like, maybe I should go back to school, because I never really gave it all my effort at school. I mean, of course, I graduated audio engineering school, but it's not a degree. Of course, it gave me a very profound, useful skill set that has provided me income since I graduated, so I don't regret that. But as far as reaching a point where I can sustain myself and potentially a family down the road, I have to do something a little more. So I was thinking about going to school, but I wasn't so sure. But when I heard the lyrics to Wide-Eyed off of Dear Youth, the latest album by The Ghost Inside, I knew that I was meant to pursue the path I'm on, even though it's exhausting every day. I mean, I literally practically don't sleep. I sleep maybe 3 hours a night. I know you're not sleeping a lot either these days, but just on top of everything I'm doing, if I'm not sleeping or driving somewhere, I'm working on something, whether it be for video games or audio or something. So these lyrics are the ones that made me decide to quit SMS. And even though I knew it was going to be a long journey to go to school and pursue what I'm pursuing, but it says, I'll carry my weight where brave dare go. Through sleet, through rain, I'll trail courses unknown. I'll carry my weight making sand out of stone. I'll blaze this trail alone and take the long road. When I heard those lyrics for the first time, I was like, I'm totally doing it. I literally, a week later, I had quit and had already applied to school. So I listen to that song quite often as well, because those lyrics basically defined me changing the direction I was headed in my life. Because I was at a point, very briefly, I was like, maybe I'll just tinker with wires the rest of my life, which is totally fine to anyone who does that. But I knew deep down that isn't what I wanted to do. So those lyrics put me on the path I'm on. So in addition, and I don't let music completely direct my life. Music has a very profound impact on my life. I mean, first and foremost is my relationship with Christ and just where I feel like he's leading me. But supporting that are all these awesome lyrics from the Ghost Inside that just propel me forward through life. So that's my extensive story of some of my favorite Ghost Inside lyrics, Jacob. But I want to hear from you. Please tell me, what are some of your favorite lyrics?
Most of mine are either sad or somber. But I'm going to spare you most of those because, I don't know, I just don't want to put people in a bad mood. So,
well, who says they're going to put them in a bad mood?
I don't want to make people sad.
People. I don't think anyone's going to be sad. I mean, if you don't want to share them, I understand.
I'm not going to share. I have a couple that I want to share, and they're both Linkin Park songs.
All right.
You know, it's tragic that Chester died. Actually, a week from the day we're recording this. But, you know, that put me on like a full Linkin Park train. Like I haven't listened to anything but Linkin Park the last week. And I've been reflecting a lot. And
we need to reiterate that they are your favorite band.
Yes.
Correct.
They always, ever since I first listened to them in like 8th grade, or might have been 7th grade, I've been a fan, like diehard fan ever since. And I was going to see them this fall, and I'm not now because you know, he's done. He's gone. So it sucks. But my favorite song ever since it's been released has been a song called Leave Out All the Rest. And I guess since we're talking about lyrics, the lyrics in particular that really spoke to me goes, when my time comes, forget the wrong that I've done. Help me leave behind some reasons to be missed. And I kind of live my life by that, in that, like, you know, we're all eventually, our time's going to come where we're not, you know, we're just a memory. You know?
Unless you're a vampire and you live forever.
Right. You know, it's just, you know, you gotta, what are the reasons, like, what am I going to be remembered by? And I always think about that, like, anytime I'm down or, you know, like, or if I'm questioning why I'm pushing on for some reason, or like why I'm still doing something, I try to remember, like, you know, I want there to be a reason for people to remember me. I want to pursue things that are going to, you know, that I can achieve good things from, if that makes sense. And, you know, I always, every time I listen to that, I listen to this song often just to remind myself that. Yeah, but it's been my favorite song for a long time.
It was extra emotional to hear those lyrics when we were on the way to the lake, just a day or two after he had died, and we
listened to like almost that whole album.
I know, we listened to a lot of the music, and it's weird and kind of spooky how related to death all of those lyrics are.
Like all their songs are like that.
Yeah, and it's weird because you see them in an entirely different light when you listen to them after what has happened.
Oh yeah,
especially because I mean, you hear lyrics like that from a lot of artists, and you're like, oh, they're just making a cool song. But when someone actually,
it's like, oh, Hybrid Theory, Meteor, there's fucking punk kids. There's angry at life.
But when someone goes through with what they're singing about, it like makes them so much more hardcore, and it's very sad, but at the same time, it's kind of badass. At the same time, like he was actually serious about everything.
You have like no idea how like far I've taken a step back and like listened to every song, like listen to all the lyrics. Like it's opened my eyes a little bit just about the band in general. There's another song called oh crap, oh no, what's the song called?
Is it off is it a Linkin Park song?
Yeah, it's one of their newer songs.
Let me guess what album.
It's called Roads Untraveled.
Okay, which album is it off of?
Living Things.
Okay, is that the one with Lost in the Echoes off it?
Yeah.
Okay.
My
PSN name.
And Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Wish I could change that, you know. But at least people will know.
Well, that song has to have some significance to you if it's your PSN name and Xbox.
Yeah, but that's not the one I want to talk about though.
Okay.
This one's called Roads Untraveled. And the lyrics go weep not for roads untraveled, weep not for sights unseen. May your love never end, and if you need a friend, there's a seat here alongside me. And that just, it's the same. It's basically the same thing as leave out all the rest. It inspires me to keep pushing on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all about pushing on, Jacob.
Yeah. I like listening to songs that kind of inspire me, but also, I don't know. I like somber songs. And that's a big reason why I've always been into Linkin Park.
Okay.
I don't know why that is. It's just who I am.
It's fine. That's what speaks to you.
I mean, I got nothing to prove to anyone.
Not me neither. I wrote a song about having nothing to prove to people.
Yeah, you did.
So,
when's the next one coming out?
It's in pre-production. It's just, it's funny. It's purely due to laziness on my part because all I have to do is re-record some of the vocals and send it to someone, and it's basically done. But I've been putting it off for so long. It was written when we were right out of high school.
Gotcha.
So,
if I would have had more time to prepare, I could have named a couple others that weren't.
Those are the only two you're going to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we move on,
because there's so many, obviously, that I always think about, but there's not on the top of my head right now. I didn't have time to pre-plan, unfortunately, for this. Even though you sent these questions like several days ago, right. I've been so busy.
Yeah, I understand that, Jacob. I will say, like Philip said, Hybrid Theory is my favorite Linkin Park album right after that Meteora and even Minutes to Midnight.
I think awesome. Minutes to Midnight is my favorite, just listening to it now after everything that's happened.
Yeah, especially Minutes to Midnight, because I remember we were listening to that on the way to the lake, and that one, it's like every song was like exactly.
It's like every song is the same thing.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But I love Hybrid Theory, dude. That's the first album I listened to after the news came out. And I know there's way heavier music, there's way heavier bands, but something about that album, especially after Chester's passing, is so hardcore. I love that album so much.
Mine's Minutes to Midnight, and then a close second's Meteora.
Nice.
And then Hybrid Theory.
I've told you my favorite Linkin Park song is A Place for My Head. First time I ever heard it was when I was in like 4th or 5th grade playing it. And it wasn't an EA skate game, because there literally is an EA skate game. It was called like X Games Skateboarding or something on PS1. And the opening song is A Place for My Head, and I've loved that song ever since. It's awesome.
Yeah, Shinoda's rapping in the beginning of that song is awesome.
It is. Yeah, I love it so much. And the guitar is good, and then Chester's screaming. What does he say in the end of the song?
Which song?
Is it Shut Up When I'm Talking to You? Is that part? Is that Place for My Head?
Yeah.
Yeah. So brutal. I love it. But yeah, great lyrics, Jacob.
That's punk music.
It is. I could literally talk about music for like 6 episodes in a row, but we'll move on from now. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you too.
Andreas123 says, what would you all do? Oh, wait, excuse me. What would you do if all 3 of you were the last people on Earth? It's a shame Preston already dipped out.
And make love to you. Yeah,
that was my first question. If you had to kill one and make love to the other, what would it be?
Well, with Preston here?
Yeah, if it was the 3 of us last people on Earth, if you had to, I don't know why you would have to do this.
I don't like this question.
If you had to kill one and make love to the other, who would it be?
I'd make love with both of you, then I'd eat you both.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. I'd definitely make love to you, Jacob. Who wouldn't? I'd be an idiot not to.
And you would eat Preston?
Yeah, we'd probably eat Preston. He's been working a lot.
He looks pretty good.
He's got some meat on him.
He looks pretty tasty.
I'd be the most boring to eat. I have like nothing on me whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of meat.
So I got plenty of facial hair. I'm going to shave all this again soon.
Yeah, you could keep me warm. You could cut your hair off.
Speaking of cutting my hair off, I'm actually cutting a large portion of it off in a few weeks. The earliest appointment I could get is towards the end of August, actually. It's literally a month from now, but
Good for you.
I think I'm going to go about half this length. Back to, I'm trying to think of an era of ItsObviousGaming. My midway point. If you've seen us for that long, when my hair was about half this length, but
just cut it all off.
I'm thinking about, I want to go half the length because I really like that length because it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short. But a couple things about my long hair. One, I hate it. Drives me absolutely insane, Jacob. I cannot stand it. I either wear a hat 90% of the time or tie my hair up because it constantly just gets in my face, and I eat it and it gets in my food. I don't know how girls deal with long hair, man. I commend them for it. It's amazing. But I'm tired of having to tie my stupid hair up. I'm so sick. Not only how that feels, but how it looks. I feel like an idiot every time I do that, but it keeps it out of my face. That's one reason. I already mentioned it gets in my food and crap, and it's just hot. I mean, in the winter, I guess it'd be beneficial a little bit. But I'm just tired of it, man. I can't deal with it anymore, so I got to cut it off. And eventually I'll probably go short again, but I'm going to just start by doing half the length because, again, I'm just proud of myself for growing it to this length because my whole life I was talking about growing my hair about this long, and I just kept quitting and quitting, mostly because Zach would quit on me first, and then I'd feel like I have to quit. Every time he and I were like, we're going to grow our hair out, and he would always quit before me, and then I felt like I had to quit. It's funny, it took him moving away for me to grow my hair out.
That's funny.
Think of all the things I can get done without Zach here. I think me and him talked about that at the lake. We talked about how different our lives are when we're not in each other's lives, and we still talk on the phone, but he and I influenced each other's decisions so much that it's almost weird, the different things we've done. Because I almost went to Disney World with him. The morning of he went to the auditions, I almost went with him, and at the last minute I was like, no, I'm gonna...
You think you would have made it?
Oh, definitely. He told me, he's like, they hired everyone that went there. So that's what I was afraid of, because he's like, there's such a small portion of people going. They were looking for mine and Zach's exact build, and we're essentially the same height, same build for the Kylo Rens there. And I was like horrified of that, because it's like, this is right where I'm thinking, like, I think I want to go to school. I think I want to do video. And if I go to Disney, I don't know when I'll come back. I was just freaking out. I was like, I don't want to go to it. So the morning of, he went by himself, and he's been there ever since. So speaking of which,
ItsObviousGaming would have been done.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I think that's ultimately what held me back, is because even though we were just starting out, I was loving this so much. I was like, I don't really want this to go. I want to see where it'll lead.
We had no traction back then either.
No, and even though we're still obviously super small, the people that, especially all of you tuning in, getting to hang out with you guys every week and talk, just whether it be video games or movies or streaming or Let's Plays, whatever it is, when we're connecting with you guys, it has been the coolest experience ever, and I'm so glad we didn't give up.
Isn't
on
it
this.
just like taking a step back? It's cool that like we have a Discord app where like all these people are brought together just because they happen to find our video.
I know that's so fun, just talking to you guys all the time. It's
there's so many different people too.
Yeah, that's it, all over the world. That's why it's the coolest thing ever. It's like, it is such an honor and privilege to talk to you guys every week. Like, I know anyone can say that and just be lying, but we mean that from the depths of our soul. Like, it is the absolute biggest honor to connect with you guys every week. But what were we talking? The last 3 people on Earth. Again, I'd sleep with you. I'd kill Preston. We'd eat Preston together, and then maybe you'd eat me, you said.
Yeah, I would be the last remaining.
Now, where would we hole up before we eat each other? Like, where do you think we'd take refuge? You think we'd build a fort or just live in an abandoned house, probably?
I don't know.
You got to think, if it's the end of the world. I mean, technically, we could create our own scenario here. But let's say not only did a nuke kill everyone and we managed to survive, but an EMP hit as well. Nothing works. It's just back to Neanderthals. Where would we live? In an abandoned house?
Cave.
Why a cave?
Well, if everything was destroyed, there's no houses.
Okay, let's pretend all the houses were destroyed. So we dig ourselves a cave or find a cave somewhere. Dig a hole.
Set up some lighting, some electricity, some internet.
Yeah, okay. So we'd get the internet working. We didn't reinvent the internet and power.
We start everything from the ground up. We'd rebuild our own little civilization in our hole. And that's when we would start sleeping with each other.
Yes.
And then eating each other.
Making sweet, disgusting,
then I would be the only one left.
Love.
And I would live in peace. Till I live my last great days.
Okay.
And I would pass.
And
if
there would be no more people
Jacob,
left. What's one thing you would have to do in the last day of your life?
Could I do anything?
Yeah. I'd go to Magic Kingdom.
I'd go to space.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that'd be cool.
Anywhere specific in space?
I just want to see the Earth. I think it'd be cool just to be in a ship or on the moon, even. That'd be cool.
Would you just take your helmet off and die in space? I feel like it'd be a pretty horrific way to go.
I want to die on Earth.
Yeah, I'd rather die on Earth, too. Now, would you plunge back to Earth and just explode into a million pieces?
God, no.
Okay. Now you'd come back and die peacefully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want it to be something like incredible, like that I couldn't comprehend. Like just seeing the Earth from space. I think that would be pretty incredible.
I can't imagine what that's like.
I think that's like one of the most, like the people that got to do that, like Armstrong, and that's the only one I can remember.
And even the guy that spent 6 months in the space station up there, just looking at it every day by
awesome.
himself for 6 months. How do you stay sane?
I mean, by yourself, yeah, that sucks.
I mean, it's also got to be the most beautiful, pure feeling ever to know that you were the only person on Earth in that space.
Is he the only one? Like, there's no.
I don't know
if
I'm not mistaken, I'm not an expert on the whole space situation currently, but if I'm not mistaken, that's the space station that we all kind of share. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But to think that potentially you're the only human being, unless there was like Russians or Japanese doing something else in space that I don't know about. But let's just say he's the only person on Earth outside of the Earth. To know you're the only person in human existence outside of the Earth looking down on everything.
On everyone.
That's got to be the craziest feeling, dude. I can't even imagine.
What is there trillions of people on Earth now, or is there
No,
still in billions?
I think we're 7 to 8 billion right now.
Not even close to trillion.
Yeah, but no.
If there's a trillion people, we might overflow the planet.
Yeah, you probably couldn't even move. You're probably getting close to it. I mean, I can barely move as it is when I go down the street. So we're nearing that point, Jake.
Hey, where we were over the last weekend, we could fit.
I was going to say,
people.
yeah, there's nothingness out there. So,
all right, let's move on. We got to speed this up because I can't stay too much longer.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Yeah,
that sucks, man.
Not like super early, but I got to get up in the morning.
Okay. Sam Harris says again, "Hey dudes, I want to know you guys are connoisseurs of whiskey and other fine beverages. What are your favorite drinks and your least favorite? Also, what drinks do you recommend? Cheers to you guys." Well, cheers to you, Sam Harris.
We've answered this several times.
Have we?
Yeah.
I have a terrible memory these days.
Whiskeys I like. I always enjoy Wild Turkey.
Thank you.
I don't drink a lot of like expensive whiskeys. I just buy, your typical brands. But what else do I like, Garrett?
You know, it's funny. I feel like we've been doing this forever, but it's only been an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
God, I'm totally spacing out right now. I can't remember what I like.
You like bourbon?
Yes, I'm trying to remember good whiskeys that I like.
We had that Elijah Craig not too long ago. It was pretty good.
Yeah, Elijah Craig is okay.
How do you feel about very generic Jack Daniels?
I'm not a fan of Jack Daniels.
I think it's just I love a good Jack and Coke.
I think whiskey. There's other whiskeys that mix better with Coke.
You think so?
Opinion. Yeah.
Is Captain Morgan one of them? Is Captain Morgan a rum or a whiskey?
It's a rum.
Okay, that's what I get them all mixed up.
Dr. Pepper and Captain Morgan, I believe, is good.
I think that's what I've heard before.
I don't remember.
Some kind of soft drink with it.
What I don't like is I don't like beer that much.
You like a good sour though. You had a few sours over the weekend.
I guess my main problem with beer is that it hurts my stomach.
Okay.
So every time even if I just drink one, like it just starts churning and it just starts hurting. It sucks because I wish I could enjoy them because they're very easy to drink. It's just so simple. Just crack open a cold one with the boys.
That's what we were doing all weekend.
But I can't do that and have fun.
I was cracking open a cold one with the boys in Doom last night.
Oh, there you go.
So
did you actually have a cold one?
No, but we theoretically had one.
Gotcha.
We were cracking open the skulls of demons together.
Oh, same thing.
Cracking open a hot demon skull with the boys.
There you go. Let me think of one other one. I'm sorry, I'm totally forgetting everything.
While you're thinking, let me distract you some more. I like IPAs. I've mentioned that in the past. I do enjoy whiskey and bourbon. I don't have it often, but when I have it, it is a pleasure.
Cocktails that I like. Old fashioned, Manhattan.
Old fashions are good.
Have you ever had a gin and tonic?
I have not.
That's a good drink. That's
what Katy Perry likes.
Oh, really?
I think she talks about that in California Girls.
Oh,
yeah.
No wonder I like that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gin and tonic's good. But please continue.
I think that's all I really have to say. I mean, I enjoy an old-fashioned. Whiskey and bourbon on occasion are delicious. And typically an IPA when I drink. And I literally drink maybe, not even exaggerating here, maybe 2 or 3 drinks a year. Literally. I think I had my 3rd drink of the year at the lake over the weekend. I had 1 beer the whole time we were there.
You drink a whole bottle in one day, pretty much.
Hey, you took down that wild turkey.
Yeah,
I was impressed. You let me have about an inch when we were playing FIFA that night, and I had so much ice in the cup that it was basically water.
I don't even remember you taking any.
Yeah, I was like, "Can I have some of that, Jacob?" You're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Thank you." Like the ad, of course. That's how you thank anyone who gives you wild turkey, like McConaughey himself.
Yeah.
And I basically had a glass of water with a little hint of whiskey because I had so much ice in the glass. So, whatever. Good drink, though.
I'm not going to judge you.
Andre says, "What is your most memorable clumsy gaming moment? Mine is while playing Skyward Sword, not upgrading my shield before taking on Skykeep. When I faced the robotic pirate replica, it broke my shield, and soon after I faced the Stowmaster, which required a shield bash to defeat. I spent 20 minutes throwing bomb flowers at it till it went down. I felt like a beast after." Jacob, what is your most clumsy gaming moment? If this helps you spark anything, I'll mention mine. Again, I've told this in the past. It's when I was playing Mass Effect 2, and I neglected the advice the game was giving me about upgrading my ship, and half my crew was killed on the way to the suicide mission because I did not upgrade my ship. I completely ignored that, thinking it was just a stylistic thing. I didn't realize it was actually going to play into the gameplay, or at least that portion of the story. and I lost half my crew, and it was literally emotional because the character development in Mass Effect 2 is so good that I'd actually grown attached to those characters, which is rare for me in a video game, and I was devastated when they died. So that's my most clumsy gaming moment by far. What about you?
I don't got nothing. This is the problem when I don't pre-plan.
Did you just not have time?
Yeah, I didn't.
No, it's okay.
I didn't have time on my birthday.
Was yesterday your birthday or today?
Today's my birthday.
Yeah, I didn't tell you personally happy birthday, but I told your mom's post. I commented. Did you see my comment?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that, Jacob.
Yeah.
So
I know you do.
You're a handsome man that I love.
I think I might love you too.
You're 25? Nice. Happy birthday.
Yeah. The first stage where nothing matters anymore.
I feel like nothing matters at 24 or 23. I mean, nobody likes you.
Actually,
when you're
25 is when my insurance went down. So that's
pretty significant. So now the only
it's all
significant birthdays are your decade marks.
Yeah. But those aren't significant.
They aren't significant, but that's when everyone always talks. Oh, you're in your 30s. Oh, you're in your 40s. Oh, you're dead.
Oh, lordy, look who's 40.
Yeah. Now, that one I haven't heard, but I'm definitely saying
never heard
that to you. No, I haven't.
Oh, I've heard that all the time.
Oh, that's cool. Can I say that to you on your 40th birthday if we're still alive?
Yeah.
Cool. Who out of the three of us do you think is going to live the longest? Oh, yeah, we already said this. You definitely are.
I will.
You take care of yourself the most. I will no doubt be the first to die out of the three of us.
I think so.
I have no doubt in my mind. So I've already accepted that fact. If I can live to be at least 85, Lord willing, much longer than that, but at least 85, I think.
We'll make it to that.
I think it'll
Unless
be
something
okay.
horrific happens.
Yeah. Hopefully not. We'll see. You can't think of any clumsy gaming moments.
I mean,
What about when you fly off the track in Mario Kart? That's clumsy.
I don't
They
do that.
banish you.
I'm a pro.
Name this movie. They banish you because you're clumsy.
Star Wars.
Which one?
It's a prequel.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
No. Close, though.
It could be either one now.
I can't do a Jar Jar impression, but it's going to give it away.
1.
Yep. It's when Jar Jar's like, banishment because me are so clumsy. And Obi-Wan's
There's not a lot of Jar Jar in 3, so.
No, it's when they're in the underwater submarine headed towards the Gungan city, I believe. No, it's not. They're somewhere before they go to the Gungan city. And Obi-Wan's like, they banish you because you're clumsy. Or maybe it's when they're in the ship. I can't remember. Somewhere in episode 1 he says that. Moving on.
I mean, there's been moments where I've like thrown a grenade and then stepped on it, but you know.
In real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Live to tell the tale.
Mm-hmm.
Or like in Zelda, like accidentally, you know, like let go of my parachute and died. I don't know. I just can't think of anything good. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Jacob.
I'm just a big idiot.
No, I don't think you're a big idiot.
Let's move on.
Okay. Speaking of Zelda and dropping your parachute, Link says, have any of you had a paranormal experience before? If so, do you think it was the real deal or do you think it was just your mind playing tricks on you?
Nope.
I have. I will refer...
I mean, I used to be scared of like ghosts and stuff, or like the dark in my house, but I'm over that.
Okay. I will briefly reiterate one story, but I will refer you to our Halloween episode of the It's Obvious podcast from last year, where we tell all of our scariest stories. I mean, there's multiple ones. I think we tell a handful. I tell all my scary stories on that episode. You can find it in the podcast playlist or on iTunes somewhere. I think it's called our best Halloween stories, video games, and movies. It's like our favorite Halloween stories, movies, and video games or something. But I came back from a mission trip in Brazil and went to sleep one night and had a nightmare that my friend like ripped his eyes out in front of me, and I woke up and felt like, and I was sleeping with Zach Bynum at the time. We had just made love, of course, but I was sleeping and I woke up feeling like someone was pressing my face into the pillow and like whispering something sinister in my ear, and it was very hot, and I literally felt like the palm of someone's hand pressing my face into the pillow, whispering something to me, and it freaked me out, and I couldn't move my body at all. I was completely frozen. And in my mind, I was calling out Zach's name for help, but I couldn't muster the words. And I finally broke free out of whatever was holding me. I was like, Zach, Zach, Zach. He's like, dude, what is it? And it was pitch black in his room. He's like, what happened? I was like, oh, dude, I just did the weirdest thing. And I told him everything that had just happened. He's like, that's so weird, man. I heard you whispering my name like in a really weird way, trying to get my attention, and I didn't know what to do. So personally, I thought maybe it was a paranormal experience because people tell you the more you try to share the gospel of Christ with others in the world, that demons will hunt you. Now, this is my second mission trip. I'm just this kid going on a mission trip. Maybe it was something paranormal. I don't know. But it sounds like the definition of sleep paralysis. When I read about sleep paralysis, everything I experienced is exactly what sleep paralysis is described as. So that's probably all it was. But based on the nightmare I had and the things I thought I was hearing in my ear and what it felt like physically, maybe it was something paranormal. I don't know. But it scared Zach so much that I think for 2 hours after that happened, just pitch black in his room.
You guys held each other and kissed?
Oh, of course. We made out the rest of the night. But he'd be like, "You good, dude?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." He'd be like, "All right, cool." So... yeah, and the only other scary thing that happened at Zach's house is when we were both in his bed again. We slept with each other a lot in our college days. I don't know why. We just had slumber parties and slept in the same bed. But we were sleeping in his bed one night, and his dog was with us. It was a Bichon Frise named Barkley. Great dog. And it was laying in between us, 3 o'clock in the morning, both half asleep. Out of nowhere, his dog just stands up and just barks violently at his closet door. And his closet door's wide open, just pitch black in there, barking like something was inside there, dude. It just would not stop barking at the closet door. And Zach's trying to calm him down, and he's like getting really aggressive, trying to go towards the door and stuff. And it freaked us out, man. Like, why would a dog, of all the places in the room, bark at the darkest corner where the closet is that viciously?
Is he dumb?
It's giving me chills just thinking about it. I don't like thinking about that kind of stuff. Those are some of mine. I tell plenty more in that episode of the podcast. But anything from you, Jacob?
No, I don't really have scary stories, like, honestly.
Okay.
Never been spooked. That's a good thing. Like, I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I hate being scared.
I know. You've mentioned to me in the past. Yeah, I haven't had too many.
Although, I don't really get that scared in movies anymore as I've gotten older. Like, I still don't like watching them, but...
You gonna go see It?
I don't know.
Have you seen the new trailer for it, man? It came out today.
Why would I watch that?
It looks awesome.
I barely got through the first one.
Yeah, I think you'd be really into it, man.
I don't like it.
I'd take you to the movie. You and I could hold each other.
When's that coming out?
October.
Of course it is. The worst month of the year.
That's my favorite month of the year. I love October. There's no, with the exception of Christmas season and May, which is my favorite. Actually, I take that back. May is my favorite month of the year. October is my second favorite.
May is your favorite month.
This is the happiest time of year. Everyone's getting out of school. Summer break starts. All the summer blockbusters starts coming out. Everyone's happy because summertime started.
It starts to get hot, though.
It's not too hot, though. It's the perfect weather to me.
No, the perfect weather is September.
You think so?
In October, yeah.
You don't like springtime? It's basically fall.
No,
just
fall
more green.
Fall is so much better than spring.
I definitely prefer fall.
It's so much cooler.
That's the problem with Georgia, dude. It stays hot till like December 4th in Georgia.
Lately, it has been.
It's
the last
ridiculous.
few years.
So,
which is nice because the winter's not that bad.
We had a very warm winter as well.
We had a very rainy summer. This last month has been very wet.
It rained today, too.
Yeah.
So,
let's move on.
Yeah. Jacob, we're ending on a doozy. This is very thought-provoking. You're really going to have to dig deep for this one. You ready?
Okay.
Ending on a big bang.
Hit me with it.
Sloppy Lou says, "Why the hell do we still not have Skittles packets without purple in them?" Jacob, why the hell do we not have those?
Your guess is as good as mine. Why is that such a big deal?
I guess people like purple Skittles.
So when you eat Skittles, do you get a handful and put them in your mouth, or do you eat one at a time?
Depends on my mood. I will start one at a time because I really like to whet the appetite, kind of tease myself with the Skittles, and then I'll just surprise myself and take a whole fistful and swallow them.
See, I'm a one at a time kind of guy. I gotta enjoy each flavor.
You don't just lose control and eat like a whole handful sometimes?
I have my moments.
Yeah. I have my moments.
I used to do this really weird thing growing up. So we had these, for some reason, I was really fascinated with the sink in the basement of my old house. And I was like, I don't know how I started doing this, but I would take Skittles. So I'd fill up, like the little disposable bathroom cups that you like use to like rinse your mouth out. We had those downstairs, and I put them over at the sink, and I was like, I'm going to fill these up with water and put Skittles in them and see what happens. So what would happen was the color would dissolve from the Skittle, and it would turn the water like red, orange, yellow. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I like drank them. And it was disgusting.
But fuck you.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just kidding. I saw kids doing that all the time.
That's the kind of shit I did as a kid.
You know what grossed me the F out, Jacob? Speaking of those little cups in water, when kids in my Sunday school class would dip their graham crackers in water and eat the wet, watery graham crackers. That's what creates serial killers.
See you next
Jacob.
week.
Yeah. That's what drives a man mad, is seeing stuff like that scarring him in his childhood. Did I tell you I saw Disney World when I was a kid, a wet piece of bread on the ground, and it grossed me out so much that later that night when we came home, I threw up because I couldn't stop thinking about it.
You're a freak.
I told you I had this weird thing when I was a kid where every time I threw up, I'd have to throw up on someone. I threw up on my aunt that night. I went and found her in her bed and was like, blah, 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 blah. I saw something at Disney and it made me feel bad. And I was like 7 and I threw up all over.
Can you name all the people you've thrown up on?
My father on 3 or 4 occasions, my aunt, probably my mom at least once. Thrown up on myself a few times. Now, of course, as I've grown over, I've gotten over that. But when I was a child, man, about to throw up, got to find a target all over.
No one recently?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't be opposed to throwing up on my girlfriend if I had to. I'm sure she'd get over it.
She's vile.
Yeah, so it'd be fine. Yeah. I don't dislike purple Skittles. You want to hear something crazy? I didn't even realize there were purple Skittles. Wait, they're the dark ones. The dark purple ones. They almost look like they're black, but they're purple.
Oh, they're definitely purple.
Because I have in my mind, I've been in my color theory class. When I think purple, I think of a different shade now. Because, you know, that purple isn't even technically a proper name for that
it's
color.
It's like plum colored.
It's called violet. Did you know that? Remember the violet crayon?
So violet. Purple is lighter than violet?
I guess, but...
What do you mean you guess? You're in the color theory class.
I don't pay attention in that class, dude.
Well, then how do you know what violet is?
Because that's the only easy one. I mean, there's a few easy ones to remember, but whenever I see that shade, I'm like, oh, that's violet.
Yeah, violet's in the rainbow.
Yeah, it is. So, I don't know why we don't have packets without purple ones. If you hate the purples, I'm sorry.
Why don't you eat something else?
I've heard a theory going around that, I mean, obviously for M&Ms, but even Skittles, that they all taste the same. It's just your mind plays tricks on you because they're all different colors.
That is not true.
I think Skittles, they are different flavors, but M&Ms I've heard are all the exact same flavor. Yes. Which makes sense to me.
That is,
because it is. Of course it is. It's just a
chocolate.
It's just a colored candy shell on top of chocolate.
Does anyone think that they have flavors, M&Ms?
I did when I was a kid.
Oh.
So that's the kind of dumbass I was.
What are we going to do with you?
I mean, there's someone listening that's like, holy shit.
What are we going to do?
M&Ms don't have different flavors?
Fuck, dude. I have to throw you out back and light you on fire.
Right. There's always the madman that will mix like Smarties and M&Ms or like Skittles and M&Ms in one bag.
Skittles and M&Ms is a bad idea. That's a good way to get shot.
To get shot?
Yeah.
What constitutes a shooting?
I don't know. I wouldn't be shooting someone, but that's just how you get shot.
If you say so.
That's what they do down in, down in the ghetto. They don't just shoot people for no reason. It's because M&Ms and Skittles
mixing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little too colorful for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to candy.
That's what I'm saying.
One thing that's missing from my life, not hanging out with Elliot as much and Zach being in a different state, is the candy buckets they would make. We go to QT and they'd get every candy you can imagine.
That was disgusting.
And just throw it into a bowl and just eat it like it's popcorn.
Ugh.
I can't eat a whole lot of candy. It F's me up, man. That's why Twizzlers are my favorite, because I can eat a lot of Twizzlers and it not hurt my stomach.
I don't like eating a bunch of different candy, but I can eat a bunch of one kind of candy.
One kind of candy?
Candy.
Twizzlers for me all day. Favorite movie snack? Twizzlers, Sprite, and popcorn.
Oh, excuse me. I want to punch you so hard.
Now, I love a good mixed icy. Coke and white cherry mixed icy is delicious. I can't get Coke and lime anymore because Casey hates it. So I haven't had a good Coke and lime in a movie in a long time.
I'll take you to the movies. We can get Coke and lime, all right?
How about we go see Baby Driver like we talked about? I was listening to the soundtrack on the way home earlier today, and I really want to see that movie again.
Or we could go to Battle and Brew like we always talk about.
Battle and Brew and Dunkirk. How about that?
That's a big day.
How about next weekend?
Next weekend?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm, I get paid tomorrow night. You want to go tomorrow night?
I don't know when I'm getting off.
Well, if you get off at a decent hour, are you open to it? Because Casey's in California for the next month, so I got nothing. Well, arguably I have a million things to be doing, but I could take a short break to go to Battle and Brew if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, you tell me, Jacob.
I don't have any plans tomorrow.
I'll be awaiting your signal. Just ignite it in the sky.
Evan's going to see Tim and Eric live.
I'm so jealous. I couldn't get tickets in time.
Well, there's still tickets available.
Oh, are there?
It starts at 7, and I'm not going to be off.
What if you miraculously got off?
I mean, there's no chance. The earliest I would ever get off is 6, and then I'd have to go home and shower and stuff. I wouldn't make it.
That's a shame.
I know it is.
I would only go if you were going.
It's going to be good.
I know.
Yeah, I think him and his brother are going, so
it's going to be
a real shame.
It is. Well, Jacob, that's going to do it for community questions this week on Ask IOG episode 4. How'd you feel about it?
It's a good episode.
It was a lot of fun.
Preston can only be here for a short while, but it was great to have him anyway.
Yeah, I look forward to having him back on the It's Obvious podcast, hosting as usual, come next Monday.
I look forward to seeing you then.
Absolutely. To all of you who not only sent us questions, but have sent us questions and were not on this episode, fear not, because this show should be weekly from here on out. And by weekly, I mean it should be on iTunes and Spotify in the very near future if we can stick to that. I mean, obviously, Preston could barely make it tonight, but we don't like to do this show without all three of us, because it just doesn't make sense, I don't think, if all three of us aren't here. So that's why it's been so challenging, because Preston's work schedule has been just relentless for the past few months. But hopefully we stick to it, and we look forward to getting to all of your questions that have been on our backlog for quite some time. So please continue to send us questions to fuel the show, to keep it going, because it's a great way to not only get to know you guys more, but for us to share a little bit more about ourselves every week, depending on what you ask. So it's been a lot of fun. And as always, hope you guys have an excellent weekend if you're listening to this on Friday when it airs, or any other time in the week, whatever day, whatever month of the year it may be, where you're at. Thank you so much for tuning in. Any final thoughts from you, Jacob?
No. I look forward to our next Ask IOG.
As do I.
And I will be speaking to everyone very soon.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to our Discord. That's where we all hang out weekly, and join us every week on the It's Obvious podcast and any of our additional YouTube content. Obviously, this episode is exclusive to YouTube currently, but everything will be coming to Spotify and iTunes very soon, so we look forward to it. But as always, my name's Garrett. This was Jacob. This was episode 4 of Ask IOG. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more. And I think I've covered all the bases, Jacob. I'm falling asleep. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to edit tonight. Every time Preston joins us online, it takes like a lifetime to get through.
I'm sorry.
That is what it is, though. I'm just glad we can do it at all. But again, all of you are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you again soon.